Question I want to just put it out there to you guys is first of all, this is Booker Riddick here with Century 21, First Choice Realty, specializing in residential and commercial real estate. What stage are you at in your personal real estate journey? Every single one of us we're in some sort of different life cycle. The thing that I've noticed more than anything else is that typically there's really two different, I would say, buckets of folks that are like moving or transitioning to a different phase or a different stage in their personal real estate journey. The first bucket are folks that are purchasing and buying real estate for strategic purposes. Okay, this could be, a potential tax depreciation. This could be building and growing a portfolio to go alongside of a retirement, just so that you have brick and mortar and you have something that's diversified. This could be, someone that's just trying to get and make some cash on cash, just trying to use and utilize their capital to actually grow and mature their money and mature their wealth to stay up and stay ahead of inflation, or it could be folks that are actually going through a life change or a life transition. What are some examples of some of those life changes? One of them could be having a baby. One of them could be getting married. One of them could be getting divorced. It could be the loss of a spouse. It could just simply be a total change in a career path, or you're looking to potentially upgrade, or you're looking to potentially downsize, or you want to be closer to a particular set of family. But every single one of us are in a different stage and a different phase of that journey. So the question that I have for you guys is, what stage or what phase are you at in your journey? And could making a move in the arena of real estate, could it potentially make sense for you? Could not owning real estate be a potential stage or a phase in your life? There's a lot of reasons why folks would choose actually not to own real estate right now in this time or season. It could be for physical reasons. It could be for, again, the stage and the phase of your life. Let's say you have a 5 or 6 bedroom house and it's just you. And it's beginning to be too much to take care of. Also, let's say that you're growing, you're expanding. You want to get chickens, you want to get goats, and you have 5 or 6 little people running around your house. That could be a legitimate reason to want to upgrade. Or it could just be simple lifestyle changes. Like you want a different scenery, you want a different change. I can remember specifically when my mother actually sold the house that we grew up in. It was a really big deal. It was a house that her and my father had actually purchased a long time ago. It was the only home that I had ever known up to that point in that season of my life. But I had actually went off to college, and not only did I go off to college, my mom ended up with she had an empty nest at that point. So she was living in this house by herself, and it was a row home. There wasn't that many windows. And at that point, she had actually decided to sell that house. And then she chose to as just being a single person herself, she decided to rent a different house. And the house that she rented, I remember her talking about it all the time, that she just loved that there was windows on 4 sides, and that the light would just come in, and she was in a happier time and a happier season in her life. But that was a real and legitimate transition. And then again, I remember us transitioning on. I can remember when Megan and I decided to buy our first home. Really what had happened for us is, she was having in the process of transitioning to a different job and kind of switching career paths. And we were at the point where we wanted to lay down roots. We felt like we wanted to put stakes in the ground, and we wanted to have territory. So we were looking kind of between Montoursville and Mill Hall. And as we were looking, really as far as Muncie, so kind of like Muncie to Mill Hall, so a really broad range. And we were just really praying and asking God, what do you have next for us? Like, where do you want us to be? We actually tried to buy a house in Lock Haven, didn't work out. tried to buy a different house in Williamsport. It didn't work out. And the house that we ended up buying actually wasn't even on the market. It was totally a God story. And when we ended up buying this fantastic house, and we've been there for coming up on 8 years now, which is hard to imagine, but it's been a wonderful opportunity for us. I've brought both of my kids home to that particular home, and it's just been a great season and just a great phase. But the question that I have for you is, like, where are you at in your story? Where are you at in your journey? What makes the most sense for you? I will. Some real estate agents won't tell you this, is that sometimes it does make more sense for you to buy, or excuse me, more sense for you to rent than buying, depending on the season of life that you're in. You know, if you're just starting out, if you maybe don't have like a reasonable amount of cash reserves, and it's sometimes it's good to actually have somebody to call when there's a problem and there's an issue, rather than having a whole list of somebody's that cost you a lot more when you have to make those phone calls. And but I would tell you, to me, like when we were deciding that we were going to lay down roots. This could be different for you. We knew that we were going more than likely going to be here for the next 5 years. So really, if you know you're going to be in the same place for more than 2 or 3 years, you feel like you're in a reasonable and a solid place financially. And I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that I've noticed more than anything else is that the people who think that they're not in a solid place usually are. And a lot of times the people who think that they're in a solid place usually are not. So let someone else, if you have wise counsel, or if you're connected with a really good professional, let other people speak into your lives. Like have what I would call heed wise counsel, which is just taking the advice of people that have been there and done that. Because a lot of times I've seen people just wait and wait and wait, and they're sitting on their hands, and they think that they're never ready. And really, what it is I think sometimes it's a little bit of fear. And then I've also seen the opposite of that, where you have people that are just so amped up and so ready to move, but it really doesn't actually make functional sense right now. But all that to be said, where are you at in your particular phase and journey? Where do you find yourself at today? So if you want to drop some comments, I'd love to hear your story, and I'd love to connect with you, and I would love to help you lay down stakes and build equity in a community that you feel like you're going to be in for a long term. Thanks.